In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways that you can use LinkedIn for your networking, 3 of which are going to also use the Duke Alumni directory. In the first way, we're going to use LinkedIn's alumni search feature. And so I'm going to search for Duke University, and I'm going to click on the See Alumni button. And here you can see that for all of the nearly 100,000 Duke alumni that are in LinkedIn, there are some metrics about where they live, where they work, what they're doing, as in what industry they're in, what they studied while they were here at Duke, and some of the different skills that they have. These are also filters that you can apply to help specify who you might want to reach out to in your search. So for example, let's say that I was interested in moving to San Francisco. And so after I click on the San Francisco button, it appears here. If I wanted to get rid of that filter, I could click on this X. All of the metrics have updated themselves, so I could see for the 5,000 plus alums in San Francisco, these are some of the largest companies that they work for and some of the industries that they're in. So let's say that I also want to focus on people with a similar academic background as me. And so I'm going to add history to my search. And again, the results update themselves. And there are still 241 alums in San Francisco that studied history. And let's say I want to add a keyword to my search. And I'm interested in seeing how people have used history as a way to get into communications. And so there are 48 alums that include the word communications in their profiles. And if I scroll down, here's the list of those different alums. I can click on their names to go read more about their experiences during their time at Duke and afterwards. And if I want to actually reach out to any of these different people, I can take their name over to the alumni directory. And so I'm going to use Brent Andrew here as an example. So if I go to alumni.duke.edu and click on the alumni directory link, you may have to log in with your NetID first, but then this is the page that you see. On the left, you can filter by different features such as types of industry that they're in or what kinds of degrees they received while they were here at Duke. But in this case, I'm just going to search for this alum's name. And so here he is. And if I click on his name, it loads up a page that has more information about what Duke knows about him, including from his time here at Duke and then any information that he has since then. If there's an email address for him in the system, this green contact button will appear underneath his picture. That's your best way of contacting alums that you find on LinkedIn and other places. If you click on this contact button, it'll pull up a new window in which you will enter your email address and a personal message to Brent, and it'll send it directly to his email address that they have on file. And then when he's ready to respond to you, it'll go directly to your email. And this really helps to get around some of the difficulties that people have of trying to send communications through LinkedIn itself. So the second way that I'm going to show you for connecting with people through LinkedIn is to just do a keyword search. And so let's say that I'm interested in sustainability. I'm going to type the word into the search box and hit enter instead of choosing some of the choices from the drop-down. I'm going to choose people, just to focus my search on people that use sustainability in their profiles. And as you can see, that's 1.7 million people use that word around the world. If I want to get this to the subset of people that I might be able to connect with through the alumni directory, I'm going to come down here to schools and add Duke as one of my filters. And so there's still 3,700 different people from Duke that use sustainability in their profiles. And so I can read through their profiles to see who I might want to connect with. And let's say that happens to be Amanda here. I'm going to go back to the alumni directory page. search for Amanda's name, click on it, and there's a green contact button that I can use to connect with her. So the third way that you have to find people is to start with companies that you're interested in. And so in this case, I'm going to start with a local company, RTI International. And if I wanted to learn more about the company overall, I could read through this page about them and any of the content that they've posted. But in this case, I want to see who the employees are. And there are over 4,000 employees overall that I could try to connect with. But let's focus just on the ones that graduated from Duke. And so a little less than 100. And I'm already connected with a couple of them, but let's say that I want to focus on people who are doing social science research. I enter social science into this keyword search at the top, and now we're down to the 33 people at RTI International that are doing social science research, and they're a Duke alum. And so if I wanted to take Karen's name over to the alumni directory, click on her name here, give the directory a second to catch up, and there's a contact button here that I can use. And so those are the three ways that you can use LinkedIn in combination with the Duke alumni directory. For the last two ways of using LinkedIn, we won't be using the directory to find people's email addresses. Whenever you can, you should try to reach out to people through email because they're more likely to respond, but there are a couple ways that you can send messages to people within LinkedIn itself. The first is to leverage groups as your way of reaching out to people. So I'm going to go back to my home page. And let's say I want to do some exploring around data science. Hit enter. And so I'm going to just focus on people. And in this case, I might want to read through these different profiles to see the kinds of ways people are using data science and the types of companies they work at. And I'm going to start with the first person in my search results. If I scroll down just underneath his summary information, LinkedIn has a highlights section. If he and I had a contact in common, it would list them here, in which case he would have to be a second-degree connection. But in this case, it's just listing the group that we have in common, which is Data Science Central. And so if I thought this could be a good person to reach out to learn from, I could go to my groups here under my groups on this link, click on Data Science Central, and if you click on the number of members, it gives you the opportunity to search for people by name. So if I enter his name here, it brings up the person I want to try and contact. If I click on his name, it'll just take me back to his profile, but there is this option to send him a message. This option may not be available if you're just on his profile, but by using groups, I can actually send a message directly to him. And I would say the same things in this message that I would if I was sending him an email. And I might also encourage him to respond to me at my email, just so we can make this communication process go a little bit more smoothly. And so the last way that you have to reach out to people is by sending a message to them as you're trying to connect with them. And so let's say I've been doing some 3D printing here at Duke, and I'm interested in learning more about how people have turned 3D printing into careers. I'm going to type 3D printing into the search, hit enter, search for people. And so LinkedIn won't offer me the ability to connect with everybody that I see here. We might have to have enough in common as far as people we know or groups that we're part of. And so I'm going to try filtering by my second degree connections. People that I know some of these people. And so If I scroll through these, I'm going to choose this person as my example. And so if I decide that this is somebody that I would like to connect with and to learn from, if I click on the connect button here, LinkedIn notifies me that I can customize the invitation. I highly recommend that you customize pretty much every connection request that you're going to send to people. Unless you know them really well or have known them for years, you really want to add a personal message about why you're connecting with them. And so if you use this add a note feature here, LinkedIn gives me 300 characters that I can use to spell out why I want to reach out to this person as an individual and what I'm hoping to gain from the connection. I should note that this is only available in the desktop version of LinkedIn. If you're using the mobile version or the app, it automatically sends their default message to people, and so you don't have that opportunity to customize the message. And so those are the 5 different ways that you can use LinkedIn to send emails and in-mail messages to people. Thank you for watching.